There we go.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Hello, and welcome to Politically Incorrect Knitters. My name is Ann Pinkova, joined as always by the lovely Deplorable Knitter.
Hi guys. I was just watching the numbers. I was just hoping everything's okay because usually it shows. There's the number of people watching. Usually it shows the number and it just kept sitting at 0, and I was worried that when we were having technical difficulties, but we're good.
That's live. Really live.
So good morning, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us. Sorry we're late.
That's all right. I'm always late. We know this to be true.
I
am always late. All right. And for being always late, our sponsor today, as always, is the lovely... And there goes my internet anyways. So... It's all right. Lynn of Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. This month's 20% discount code is PIK Flag Day 20% off your order. Get lovely yarns like the programmed. And I haven't introed it yet, but we have a new yarn particular to us. I'm so excited.
So excited. I haven't even seen it yet in life.
Yeah, she sent it to my house and I'm like, yes. Anyways, I'll show that off soon. But again, PIK Flag Day 20% off your order. I have a ton of her yarn to show off today because I got packaged this week, as well as our own particular yarn. But also for that, our giveaway winner for, again, this lovely deprogrammed yarn and Odyssey Tale by Cody Schlegel is, I believe you have the name.
Drum roll.
It's please.
Tara T. Yay! And Tara T's in the chat, so congratulations. Thanks for doing it. Sorry we're a little slow this morning. Ann and I usually cut out these awkward parts.
Right.
But yeah, so Tara, congratulations. Get in touch with Ann. I know you know how to, and she'll mail it to you.
That's right.
So, do you want to show what this week's giveaway is right now, or do you want to show what you got instead?
Sure. Well, that is kind of one and the same because... Oh, okay. All right, so here, I have one of these. Where's the other one? There it is. Sorry. So, like I said, Lynn made us our own particular yarn, and let me pull it out of its little sleeve thing. The Politically Incorrect Knitters colorway. It is absolutely stunning. And this week's giveaway, because she gave us a couple skeins of this, and yeah, I'm in love with it. I've been knitting with it this week. That I whipped out a cowl pattern. I hope it works. But okay, like I love knitting with it enough that if the cowl pattern doesn't work and I have to pull it out again, it's okay because I'm having a lot of fun here. But yeah, it is beautiful. And then when we were messaging with her and she was asking what kind of colors we would want to do, that you're like, okay, I'd like, we'd like something like really rich and saturated and kind of superhero-y, that kind of a vibe. So
Ann was the one who wanted the superhero vibe. I just wanted something that fell within our brand that wasn't like straight up red, white, and blue, because as much as I love the colors of our flag, I use them all the time. And I wanted something that was, a little bit different, a little more, right. Not that it's not fun, but you know what I mean? Just something different is a lot of what it was.
Right. And with our new logo too, that we have some yellow elements in it too, like, okay, let's, we can bring this a little more primary color than straight up patriotic, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these were sitting on my dining room table, and I was looking at, because my dining room table is a mess as always. And I'm like, oh, superhero-y. It's the same colors. And I'm also going around. And part of it too, that it reminds me of it's kind of like, I think, what do the kids call it? Like dark academia. Like it's very vintagey Letterman jacket too. Like I get that vibe from it as well.
It does have this like private school color thing going on. So I see it.
Right. That there's this kind of rich vintageness that I love, but also like, again, crap around my house. I'm like, oh, it matches my hat. And like,
apparently this is
colors
Anne's
I love.
color.
Right.
Oh, Neil's, aren't they the colors for pansexual pride?
Don't wreck my day.
Neil, at this point, you can't worry about that stuff because
Every color is pansexual pride color.
Every color is a pride something, right?
Right.
Oh, Miss Happy Rose. Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
It's always good to see her. We are all international up in our chat today.
I know. We're like super fancy.
Yeah. But anyways, this week's giveaway, skein of this yarn, another copy of Odyssey Tale. So,
Yep. So that's another thing where comments will close on Thursday, which is the 17th, I believe. So no, that's wrong. Because Father's Day is the 19th. So let's see. It's the 16th, I think. Anyway, Thursday, whatever teen date Thursday is, that's when the giveaway is closed, and you have to get your comments in by then so that we can give you your prize. That's all I was trying to say. But so yeah, we got our new yarn, which is exciting. Anne has been hogging it all. See, this is where the problem comes in, where we're like hundreds of thousands of miles away, because
not hundreds of thousands.
Okay, whatever, thousands of miles away.
100,000s.
But yeah, so she's had it, and I haven't seen it yet, and I'm a bit jelly, I won't lie. Dawn says she grounded herself from buying more yarn. Hey, enter, you might win it, and then you won't be in trouble.
That's right.
And Amy says it's kind of got a Potter vibe to it. So it does. I like it. I'm a fan.
And that's the thing too. So I'm sitting here. I'm about to show the cowl, but I was sitting there knitting this and chatting with my brother. And I'm like, yeah, look, we have our own yarn. And he's, doing the guy thing of, oh, nice. Yeah, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's so cool. It matches this. And I have it's a reproduction print of the Lady and the Unicorn tapestry that is in the Gryffindor common room. And he's like, it just looks like that. And I'm like, yeah, again, all of my things match. I'm a very primary color, but dark girl. So,
you're on brand at least.
Exactly.
So that's cool. So yeah, show us the cowl. Let's see it. We've been talking about it.
And what I really should have done was wait until I got to an end of a row. But here it is. I'm knitting a large flat piece. Here, let me bring it forward a little bit. But yeah, the pooling is really interesting, which I'm having a lot of fun with. But it is a broken rib cowl. And the plan that I have these little yarn overs here. I did something like this before. But I'll have buttons along, so you have your rectangle, and I'll have buttons along one edge. And then you have your yarn overs, so you can have it like a regular cowl, or you could cross over itself and have sort of cross into your jacket sort of a thing. So yeah, that's my plan. Yeah.
Pumpkins and Princesses asked if you have it caked up so they can see it.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some navy in there. It doesn't show up as well on the screen, but there is some navy in with the burgundy or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, when it's in this form, you can kind of see a little, but there's navy on either side of the gold. And that's sort of when it blends into it. And yeah, and
you can see little spots of the navy on there. Yeah.
Right. That when it pools, it's kind of hard. There we go. You can see it a little more from this angle. Looks more faded, but it's there. But yeah, I love it. I'm very excited.
Cool. What else you got to show? Let's see more yarn.
I do have more yarn. I did. Hang on. Other than this, it's just been production knitting again. So another Bucky beret. Woohoo. It's a million of those. But like I said, I got a package from Chicken Lady. So sends the lovely Patriot collection, which is beautiful. And I didn't actually get one of these last time, so I was really excited to get my hands on it. And here. Sorry, because I had a little shopping spree in her one of a kind yarns. So
I did that too. Oops.
I love it. No, I love it though. Like this one is just called 65, and it is just lovely and springy, and it's coming up a little washed out on camera, but it is very bright green and lovely. There's, yeah, all of her yarn is lovely. Like proper colorways. Like, for example, she sent along like this is her Snowy Day colorway. This is not one of her one of a kind. This is proper, and it will be featured in a giveaway sooner or later. But this is part of her band literature club.
Yep, it's really pretty.
But yeah, really delicate. There's just really fine speckles throughout, and just beautiful yarn. Here, let me put that to the side. Again, we normally are able to edit this bit out, but these I'm really excited for. This is her one of a kind yarns, number 007. So I'm thinking, I was thinking of doing a sweater for this and like doing fine stripes or something, but she called it 007. So I'm thinking it might have to have a Bond girl theme, maybe a Gala brand or, Vesper Lind or something. We'll have to figure that one out. I think Vesper is kind of a black velvet girl.
I wouldn't know. It's not one of my things. But that's nice. They're really pretty.
Yeah, they're lovely. And I know, like this one in particular, the corals, and there's sort of golds in there, and it's really beautiful. Anyways, I love all her yarn. But
you're so funny though, because just a minute ago you said, "Oh, I like all the really saturated," colors, and now you're showing off like coral and light green.
Yeah. And this is lovely and delicate. And I'm just on the other. Yeah, I love all the colors. I love the dark, rich colors, but also
it's just funny you like literally said it and then. But that's cool. So what else do you have, Anne? What else do you have there?
What else do I have? Oh yes. Sorry.
Oh.
So part of us being late today, and okay, I'd be late anyways. I'm not gonna pretend. But I got a box in the mail.
And I want you all to notice that it's only a week after her birthday, unlike the month it took to get my box. But hey, whatever.
Hey.
I like to tease you.
Here. And I did. Let me open all of the little flaps first. But, sorry, I love gifts. All right, so opened it up. And this is hilarious because we were just talking about saturated colors. And look, it's more.
Hey, I found something I thought you'd like.
Yeah.
My mom and I were debating about colors we wouldn't pick. I'm like, do you think Anne will like this one better or this one? And that's the one we landed on. Yeah.
I do love them though. And they're very soft. But yeah, these are beautiful. And some lovely blue yarn.
I thought you could use it for your Papa hats, honestly.
That is true. And
it's worsted, but it's one of those like really thin worsted because it's kind of like thick and thin. So I thought you could use it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
be nice. It'd be very fluffy too. Thank you. But yeah, that I didn't bring it over because it feels so redundant. But yeah, I've been knitting more Papa hats too because those are a consistent seller. If you can break into the anime hat market, they'll never let you go. Hang on. There's something all wrapped up here.
She's gonna love it.
What?
You're gonna love it. I'm excited.
I do love it. Sorry. It says tears of my enemies on the mug.
I sent it to her like months ago, and I'm like, we should have these for the podcast. And then I was at Hobby Lobby, and they were on clearance, and I was like, well, now Anne will have one for the podcast.
Exactly. I will. But yeah, this is awesome. Thank you. I definitely need it. But
Yeah, you don't have appropriately large mugs. All of hers are really tiny, and here I am drinking a gallon of coffee every day. Neil wants one of those mugs too. Hey, if the next time I go to Hobby Lobby they have one, I'll see. Although I have no idea how much shipping to England is, so we'll have to talk about it.
I'll have to work something out. And at the bottom of the box, we have a lovely projects in progress notebook. There goes Aaron again. Yeah, but there's, like yarn weights and knitting needle size. Ooh, and it's all graph paper.
That's why I got it for you, because Anne is constantly looking for graph paper and looking for stuff to write her whatever's on and can never find them. And so I was trying to think if maybe she had one in one spot, it would work. We'll see.
Right. As opposed to, right. Right now that I have notebooks everywhere, but I can never find the exact notebook that I want. It's a plot flaw. And I have a couple of older notebooks that I have graph paper in, and the pages are falling out and the cover's falling off. I'm like, no, I need these. These are all my original charts. I need them all.
That's funny. Dawn, I got everything for Anna at Hobby Lobby. They've been having some clearance sales, so even though it looks like I lavished her with gifts, it was really not much.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a bargain shopper, I won't lie.
That's right, because again, we're on the same page here. Get those bargains.
Exactly.
These are very lovely. Thank you.
And
also, sorry, Shala. But yes, thank you very much for my gift, and also thank you everybody for the birthday and anniversary well wishes. It's very sweet of you all.
Yes. Brenda says I need a big mug because I'm a homeschooling mom. Yes, and I just plain old run on coffee. I'm one of those people. So now I'm going to talk about my stuff. Ready?
Yeah, go.
So, I was wearing a shawl. I'm sure that most of you caught that at some point. So it's a shawl. And then, oh, look, there's another one. That's backwards here. Oh, look, it's another one.
Yay.
If you can't tell, there's shawl designing in progress here. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a little while before it goes into testing because this is a worsted weight one and this is a DK weight one and there's going to be a fingering weight one. And so we're working on that. And actually the fingering weight one is going to be done with the Patriot Collection yarn.
Right.
And so, if you guys don't have the perfect pattern for it yet, it's coming. And there's a lot more detail in this that you can't see on the camera right now. I'll take a picture and post it. But yeah, so that's happening. And I didn't design this myself. I've been working with my mom on it. And I personally have no knitting to show this week because we were on vacation. We took a little mini vacation. There was an air show. And then we went and we camped, which is not something I actually do. We camped, like we had a cabin that had beds in it. And then we had to use the restrooms at the campground and we had to cook our food on the grill kind of thing. So it wasn't like camping, but we were still camping. And we were in this place called Herkimer, which is in New York. And it is the only place, I believe, in the world that has double terminated quartz crystals. They're naturally faceted Oh, you guys can't see them. I gotta take one out. But they're really cool, and like the woman sells them on QVC and stuff. Like it's not just they look a little bit like diamonds. It's hard to tell, but yeah. So my family and I were doing that, and the kids attended a homeschool event there where they learned about minerals and mining and sluicing, and so that's been my life this week. And therefore, hey, got no knitting, but it was a lot of fun. Even though I don't believe in camping. And we had so much fun that we booked another weekend in September because, I don't know, it sounded good at the time. And we're going to stay 2 nights, so I don't know, but it's fun. And the kids loved it.
It's like how people roped you into timeshares after you had a really nice vacation. You're like, yeah, I want to come back all the time.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, we did kind of get roped in because the KOAs were having, if you're a member of the KOA campgrounds, you get a free night stay the first weekend, I think maybe the second weekend in September. So you get to stay one night and then you get the second night free. And so my husband goes, well, we should do this. And I'm like, all right. So it'll be fun. Oh, Brenda went there with yeah, because I forgot you live somewhere in New York too. We don't live anywhere near each other, but Herkimer is far away from everyone. So, or maybe it's not. Maybe you live closer to it, but it was far for us. It was a trip. And so then we spent the whole day mining, and then we got in the car and it rained on us and we're wet and we're just trying to get home. And it was a long day, but it was fun and it was worth it. Yeah, but it was a huge event. I guess normally like 40 homeschool kids go to it. This year they had 130. And so I don't know if that's partially because of the uptick in families just homeschooling, or if it was maybe a combination of that and COVID, and people are finally like, I'm getting out of the house with my kids and they need to do something different. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Let's learn about rocks. Come on, kids, let's learn about rocks. Let's go.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had the mining, the sluicing, they did jewelry making, they talked about the creek that runs through the area. I mean, it was a really big event and it was really cool. Oh, they say it's about an hour away. No, it was like 3 or 4 hours away for us. So it was a big trip, but it's fun. So yeah, that's happening. And I think that's all I mean, like, not the, and we got our little free library up. On Wednesday, my husband was off, and we spent the rest of the day like fashioning the pole and digging the hole. It's my first time using a post hole digger. I am not good at it. It took a long time, but you guys talk for just 1 second.
Okay. Well, I mean, since I'm left to vamp on my own, she was talking about going to an air show. And this past week, this is not going to an air show, but my family and I went to go see the new Top Gun movie. Absolutely adored it. Very much you have to be in the theaters to see it sort of a thing. I'd only seen the first Top Gun movie like a couple of weeks before, and like, okay, this is fun. I don't really get the hype, but like, this is a good movie. I'm not knocking it. But seeing the second one in a theater, like the whole time was like, planes go fast. Like it was so good. It was definitely like a physical experience to watch on the screen, like I said again. But just a lot of people say that it's a very pro-American movie. It is. And also from a news standpoint, they had that there was a big controversy that the Taiwanese patch on the back of Tom Cruise's jacket was taken off so as not to offend the Chinese. But weirdly enough, that because it was so American, that the Chinese backers of the movie left. So they reinstated the Taiwanese patch. I'm like, well, you should have done that anyways. But still, anyways, small wins. I'll take it. But yeah, it was it was a really good movie. I loved. So it was. So I was thinking yesterday, it was that, the Top Gun Maverick and the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie, this is a rabbit hole, but like I said, she left me alone, that they are opposite movies, that the Robert Pattinson Batman was great. It was gritty, it was dark, but there was a lot of like things suck, but you do the right things anyways, and you really can't win. Or on the other hand, the Top Gun movie was like it was man and machine working together, but in an age of you just let the machine work, the computer work, the bureaucracy work. You can't push the limits. These are the limits, and because of those limits, humanity is doing less. And the Top Gun movie was very much push beyond your limits to be the best that you can be. And yeah, it was a great movie. It was a big there's a big win at the end, but the big win was like, we needed this. We needed the yes, we can succeed. Yes, we can do well. And that was sort of the whole thing. And also, there was only like a minute in the movie where they were on a yacht. I want a sailboat. That's the moral of the story.
Well, sailboats aren't quite the same as you see in movies. My stepdad has one. And it's just, they're a lot more work than they look like in the movies. But I haven't seen either of them, so I have nothing to say about it.
No, I imagine. No, but it was very much, like I said, it's a plane go fast. It's a, the teary eye that you get at an air show, but it's in a movie theater. It was a great movie. Anyways,
that's cool. Cool. So sorry about that. One of my kids was crying their face off, and they weren't ready to go, and my husband was ready to go, and they got upset. So
that's fair.
But because I heard the crying, I had to go investigate because I was concerned that it was an issue. Somebody got hurt. But anyway.
Crying kids. Yeah, crying kids.
Well, I got one that cries more than the others, but it is what it is. So I think we talked about all of our. You want to start with your English news?
Yeah. That we were going back and forth today about things to cover. So that there is a group, the Vaccine Injured and Bereaved group, that they had a petition to their government for an inquiry to vaccine injuries, and they got enough for their petition, so that's going to go in front of Parliament. So that's cool. Yeah, the more that is out in the open, the better. Especially since there was a job position that was brought up this week, that it was basically for a COVID digital COVID pass, and the job position was to be ahead of that department. But that was brought before Parliament because it's like, you said that there wasn't going to be any digital COVID pass, so why is there this job opening? So yeah, it's one of those, people try to push it in silence, but to have both of these stories out, to have hey, they're still trying to push this, and also people are demanding answers, and the people demanding answers are getting louder every day. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also in English news, that there are 2 British citizens and a Moroccan who are sentenced to death by a Russian court. But it's iffy because the court, that it's not officially a Russian court. I think they put it under like a Donbass court, or maybe not Donbass, maybe it's the name of the town that they're in. Anyways, in the disputed region currently between Russia and Ukraine. But they're British citizens, but they're married to Ukrainians and were part of the Ukrainian army. But the Russians are saying that because they're British citizens, that they're mercenaries, but mercenaries are still under the Geneva Convention. So to execute a prisoner of war is against the Geneva Convention, and it's a big stink. So it's a court for a country that doesn't exist, doing rulings that break international law. So
yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing at all.
Yeah, it's bad.
It sounds bad. So, but how are they? justifying this? Are they justifying it, or is it just what it is? You know what I mean?
Right. That they're, saying, I don't know what they're doing. It's like I said, it breaks the Geneva Convention. The court's a mess. But I mean, who needs fair and just court systems when the rest of the world's the way it is? Not to be a downer there.
Not to be a downer. No, I think any
show trials are quite show trials are quite the fashion nowadays,
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to mention. So speaking of show trials, how about the January 6th hearings? Yeah. Everybody's like talking about them. Did you know that the guy who is producing them is like a straight up ex-ABC news producer, president of ABC? That's his job, to make like fancy news stuff. Yeah.
That Chris Wallace, I saw a clip of him, and he was on CNN talking about how well produced this trial is. Like, a trial should be a trial, and also in this trial, you're not allowed any dissent, which means that's the simplest, straightforward explanation of what a trial is. You have a judge, you have jury, and you have defense and a prosecutor. You need all of these things for a trial. But
I don't think it's a trial right now, right? They're just hearings. They're just talking about it. Or I didn't watch it, and apparently it's because I just don't watch TV, because it was on 18 channels.
Yeah.
And it had 20 million viewers. So like you hear, oh wow, 20 million people watched it. When you put it on 18 channels, that's actually not that impressive, because yeah. Gonna take a hard pass on that trial, just like you did with the Johnny Depp one. This is my favorite comment right now.
Exactly. But I mean, Biden has trotted out, like, I'm going to talk about inflation. No, wait, I'm going to talk about the insurrection. It's like, and it was like a compilation of clips I was watching. It's like, yes, our democracy is still at threat. Like, from the Buffalo Horns guy, and not just that, but and it's like, yes, loss of life. I'm sorry that the only police loss of life, it was not by actions of any of the protesters. It was heart attack. It was day after.
Right. But nobody talked about Ashley Babbitt, who was the only person who was actually killed the day of, who was an unarmed civilian.
Right.
But whatever. And you say insurrection?
Insurrection. This is the darkest day. And it's, I know. I don't think it needs right. And with that going, no, exactly though. It's like, this is the darkest day in our democracy. It's like, yeah, because that the government have taken, what amounts to a trespassing charge, and oftentimes with no prior convictions, and they've put those people in solitary confinement waiting for their court date still.
Yeah.
Okay. Cruel and unusual, and also that's not a speedy and just trial. Basic constitutional stuff.
It is. It's just ridiculous. And I was listening to Tucker Carlson, and he said an insurrection is like an armed attempt to overthrow the government. And I didn't have a dictionary handy, so I tried to look it up online, and then it just was like, oh, a violent attack of people trying to overthrow the government. And I'm like, I still don't think that is what it is.
Also, it's like, these people, they were not coming to overthrow the government. All right. These people were unarmed. Besides like flagpoles, there was no guns. They were talking about, like, oh, well, there were a couple of bombs left at the scene. There's no actual proof actually linking them to the people they arrested. It's like, these people went in, they didn't have a plan. It's like, okay, let's say that there was no police at all. What would they have done? If they had just evacuated everybody from the Capitol, and you have these protesters, like, there was no plan. There was a walk around, stay in the little velvet corded lines. And
yeah.
And
And never mind the people opening the doors for them.
Mm-hmm.
That was nothing to see.
Yeah,
And
the videos of that, the one cop, sorry, obviously provoking the crowd. A lot of it is stupid. But also, I mean, it's the insurrection. And if you don't actually look at the footage and you don't actually know, and everybody that you hear is freaking out, well, that must be something big. And it really, really isn't.
yeah. It's ridiculous. And the way that they're doing it, I mean, it's like propaganda. It's like truly putting it on 18 channels. That's like what happens in China. Like, oh, the government wants to tell you something, it's on everything. None of this like thinking for yourself or telling all the story or anything. Nope, just it's really ridiculous. But there's a dude who spoke out about it. And he's not in one of the circles we usually listen to, but the dude's name is Jack Del Rio. And I think he's the defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. And he asked why everybody is talking about this and nobody talked about the whole BLM thing. And he got in trouble and he stood up for himself and he said, I'm not saying anything about anybody. I want to know if this is a subject, then why isn't this? And so the response that he got from that was that he was fined $100,000 for asking a question that didn't go within the party line.
Wow.
Which I think was interesting. And then it kind of goes right into the thing that's happening with Major League Baseball, where some of the players didn't want to wear pride patches on their uniform, and now they're being like called bigots and things for not participating in it. So it's not enough that they get pride. It's not enough that they get
the holy month of pride.
Yeah, but it's not enough that they get all of that. Now, if you don't actively participate, you're in trouble. Like, they can't just... That's the problem with the whole left agenda. It's not just that they want it. It's not just that they want to have people doing these things. It's that you have to, like, actively participate and pretend you agree with them. And that's the part that gets really messed up. Like...
Right. That, any... players, it's like, this is America's pastime. It's like, but to play America's pastime, there has to be a level of ideological compliance. And I forget if I said this before, but there were some people complaining with the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and all of the Union Jacks that were down the street. And, oh, this looks like Nazi Germany because there's so many flags around. I'm like, well, that's crazy because, I mean, what would be like a flag that shows your compliance with a certain ideology that you have to hang in your windows or other people don't like you? I wonder what that would be.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that lining the streets with your country's flag for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, which is like a big deal. Isn't she the only one who's had this?
Right.
Right. So like historic. Right. And yeah, I think that's okay. Like, right. I don't know.
Also, the Union Jack, like the American flag, like the flag of many nations, like it's for everybody in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, American flag is for all Americans, and it's, I don't know. And especially since I had to laugh because, for South Dakota, I'm in a fairly liberal area. Neil, not the longest monarch ever. Somebody in France beat her out, so she has to wait a couple more years. But
good try, though, Neil.
I can't remember the name of who it was. I think it was one of the Louis, but there's a lot of Louis, so I can't name that off. But anyways, I was laughing because our very liberal city council. So they lined the streets with, this year it was trans flags. Last year it was rainbow flags. And they're so environmentally conscious. Why do they have to ditch the old rainbow flags? Like, you couldn't reuse, recycle on this one. You got to update to the minute.
Which ones are the trans flags? I don't know that I would know it.
No, the intersectionality flags, instead of just
The
having a
one with
rainbow,
the
you have the triangle.
triangle and
Yeah.
then the stripes. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That you have the triangle with the trans, and also you have the black and brown stripes to note that you're
And then
also
there's a
not racist,
circle, and
even
there's a
though no, there's no circle in this one, but
um,
I was like, where is the support for the Ukraine here?
so
I
probably
don't know if
next year
anyone's actually doing that, but
they're going to update to the ones with like that circle in them. They probably got these on clearance last year when this was the big thing, and now they're behind because they added something new to it already. So,
exactly.
but anyway, the last thing I wanted to say about sports though
Right.
was that now the Carolina Panthers are groundbreaking. Carolina Panthers are football in case people don't follow sports. So
Right.
one of their cheerleaders is trans. They are the first team to have one.
But also, why? I mean, I know you need a couple dudes on the team to do the lifts, but still, it's like in ballet. But why? I think
I'm sorry.
sorry, I think all of these big burly football players are like, yeah, babe, this is for you.
Yeah. They are competing with the 50 stars on the American flag. It's like adding a new star for each new state. Well, with that thinking, Wombat, then there should be 700 and something different things on the flag, because didn't they say that's how many genders there are or something? But then again, you try to, yeah, I'm over it. I love the stuff that's like pride, there are no genders, and then it comes in like male and female. Like, are
Right.
you sure? How does that work?
I was laughing too. So I went to oops, there we go. Anyways, went to Sioux Falls the other day, and Sioux Falls is the largest city in South Dakota.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. That just made me laugh really hard.
Oh, that's okay. No, but they so recently they put out a Sioux Falls flag, and I'm like, y'all trying to be Chicago? You trying to make this a thing? It's not a very good flag. Oh, there she goes. I'm sorry. Hope she comes back. That'd be kind of weird. But anyways, that they have this Sioux Falls flag, and like I said, it's not very good. It's like a diagonal zigzag, and there's a sun in it, and I'm like, this is terrible. You're just trying to be Chicago. But driving around, and it's like, and this is our Sioux Falls flag, which is a new thing, and this is our Sioux Falls themed pride flag. I'm like, y'all are trying so hard. And I hope the printers are like going gangbusters with orders with all these new flags every which direction. Anyways.
I don't know, man. Why would any place try to be Chicago?
I know. And it's like, oh yeah, because we're proud of our city. It's like, well, I mean, that's cool and all, but why?
So there was, speaking of all of the crazy, I thought this was a news story, but I think it's an old story. But I thought it was interesting to mention. So there's this person who is a they, who is a dude wearing a dress, is more or less what he is. Because he is. But he's, I saw something that said that he was a spokesperson for female sanitary products. And it may not be true, but with the way the world is going, I didn't have enough time this morning to get all the info on it. So if I'm giving you guys the wrong information, I'm sorry. But with everything that's been going on lately, I don't know, it could be true. Because it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, why not say that a man could be that spokesperson because
See, this whole thing, like, look, I don't want a dude to sell me tampons. Let's just be straight up here. That's not what I want. I don't, no. Just no. And
not
also,
to
there was I think it was a Babylon Bee thing. So they're whispering around just like, oh, there might be a tampon shortage. And it's like, oh, well, you just gotta walk into the men's room to use their dispenser, because all of these school boards who are like, yes, we will put the menstrual pad dispenser in the men's room too. I'm like, well, that's great.
Okay, so if you guys are going to put that in the men's room, could you also please put a changing table in there, because kids also have dads and they do change diapers on occasion, or they should be able to if they so choose. But that kind of stuff kills me.
Right.
Like, let's dudes actually have kids and you can't get a changing table in all bathrooms. So why is it only in the women's room? But we can put menstrual stuff in the men's room. Right. Explain it to me.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, that's what Pat said.
Right.
Yeah, so all I know is that I'm pleased that I had my hysterectomy, and now I don't have to worry about who's trying to sell me whatever, because I'm all set. Thank you. We're good.
There you go.
Oh my God. No, I can't take this stuff. It's ridiculous. Where do I insert the tampon? Yes, exactly, Neil. I told my mother, and that's more or less exactly what she said. And I was mortified and also true. Gross. Sorry.
I need some mind bleach. Anyways. So speaking of absolutely ridiculous stories, so this has been a joke for years. Okay, this is a decades long
decades long what?
This is a decades long environmentalist wacko story. Okay, and there's been jokes about this for years. It was environmentalists saying that we need to regulate cow farts for the environment. Okay, New Zealand is doing it. Their government has proposed taxing cow farts and burps because methane is bad for the ozone layer.
How are they even going to keep track of that? For one, like, let's start at the basics.
Well,
is somebody going to stand at the farm and count them?
There have been for environmental recording things before, and I believe it was actually it may not actually have been in Germany. Perhaps they're just saying the little straps around the cow to monitor this looked a little bit like lederhosen. Now, electronically monitoring cow farts, and which is also, it's like, so, there's nothing like, taxing and harassing animals over their normal bodily functions. But also it's like, oh, great. If we overregulate the animals, let's regulate the people too. And not to mention that another bad joke, but one that's been, another Mark Stein joke. Have you ever hung around vegan? Lots of beans in their diet. Do you think they're not gassy? Come on, people. No, but it's like, this has been around, like I said, over a decade of saying like, oh yeah, cow farts harm the environment. Isn't this funny? Ha ha ha. It's like, no, there's people out there and they're taking it seriously. Like, for real.
I don't understand. I really don't. Yeah.
But anyways,
Wombat wants Mike Rowe to do that job.
Right. But anyways, so are we talking about cow farts? This is the degeneracy of our world. I'm just going to say it, that here we are, grown adults, and this is the news things. Everything is brought right down to our basic bodily functions. Are we talking policy issues? Are we talking this? Are we talking that? It's like, no, people do not. It's like, the idea of what is normal and what is, just passe. Like, yes, all of that, throw that right out the window. We have to discuss over every little thing now. We have to discuss cow farts now. We have to discuss normal bodily functions. Like, why are there tampons in men's restrooms? Like, the stupidity.
Right. No, and the stupidity is really what's going on. And freaking so like everybody's freaking out about the January 6th, blah blah. Oh, it's a trial, it's a whatever. Why isn't anybody talking about the dude that was arrested trying to go into Brett Kavanaugh's house to kill him and his family?
Right.
I mean, if we're really upset about January 6th, then you should be really upset that a man was apprehended by U.S. Marshals with zip ties and a gun with the intent to enter a U.S. Supreme Court justice's home to murder them and their family. I mean, once again, there's the logic, but if you're pissed off about people dying on the 6th, then you also need to be pissed off about this. But no, nobody's talking about it.
Right. It's, one is literal violence and the other is like, I don't know. And with, again, that there was an attack on the Capitol. There was, as mentioned in the comments, a church burned across the street from the White House. There were all of these things.
Yeah. They were threatening to lynch the president, and he had to be put into an underground bunker until it was safe, right? Like, but no, we don't talk about that. That's not.
That is totally normal. And anyways, it was Trump, so threatening violence against that guy. Nobody worries about that. I mean, that's just normal.
Yeah, no, I think the big thing about all of it is that it's just so much hypocrisy. There's so much, you know what I mean? Just so much of this, like, if it works for my platform, then it's great. And if it doesn't, then even better. We won't talk about it. But what about his husband?
Exactly.
No, sorry, Ann.
No, you go ahead.
He got arrested for drunk driving, I think, last week, right? Since that happened, the dash cam footage has disappeared. The arrest report has disappeared, and so has his mugshot. Why isn't anybody worried about this? Like, what's going on?
No, very much. And, two-tier justice system where, again, we had the Durham report forever. And, the trial about Hillary Clinton and her interference. Like, nope, all good. Everything's fine. Next week, though, former Trump advisor arrested because he didn't want to come to the January 6th show trial. Like, and also his apartment is across the street from the FBI. Okay. But they took 5 officers and arrested him off a plane to scare the dude. Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. Here, how about this? If they kill the justice, does he get to appoint a liberal? Yes, Mom, he does. Yeah. I'm sure. And dude, what a freaking nonsense show is it?
It is very much thug tactics. It's get you down, shut you up, the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Want to talk about how bad the economy is, or is everybody super depressed by now?
Woohoo! Well, I know that you mentioned in your thing that you want to talk about ethanol. I'm like, yes, I'm from ethanol country. It sucks and it wrecks your car, and I hate it. The farmers like it to a certain extent because they get those sweet government subsidies. But yeah, it wrecks your car.
Well, Biden upped the amount of ethanol that's going to be put in gas, right? So it was 10%. Now it's going to be like 15. I heard if you have a car that's older than like 2002, it's just going to be ruined. I don't know how true that is because I don't know about cars, but it seems legit.
No, it's the case. Unless you have a new car that can take it. Yeah, it's crap. And it's 22 pounds of corn for a gallon of ethanol. So, and then we have we have fuel prices for the tractors, and we have fertilizer costs is up, and we have food shortages potentially. Yeah, I love that food for fuel. That's really great, people. Yeah, that's fun.
Wow. Yeah. So but also I heard that it's kind of bad for the environment. Like everybody's like, oh, it's better and it's renewable, but they've done research that it's actually not very good for. But yeah, it's going to up our food prices. We're already having a food shortage, and by taking 22 pounds of corn to make a gallon of ethanol, that's just screwing us.
Hmm.
And
I'm sure it's Putin who's doing it.
Obviously it's Putin.
And price raise.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, are we going to last 2 more years of this? Like, can we last 2 more years?
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, hate to be conspiratorial, but on one hand, never, you don't want to say conspiracy when gross incompetence will do, but it's like, well, at the same time, if you were trying to crash things, what would you do different?
Right. I don't know. And I heard, and once again, I have not been watching as much news as I should, considering that we talk a lot of politics. But I heard that the reason that all of a sudden everybody's pushing to do the January 6th thing is to kind of like fire people up for the midterms, to get them like thinking about how bad conservatives are and things. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, a lot of things suck right now, and it's getting obvious even to those who don't pay attention. Which to a certain extent, some people, I mean, it's a lot of people are waking up that haven't before, which is awesome. But this is an old, something that they'd rattle around on the Rush Limbaugh show ages ago. Like, oh, well, Obama's elected, but, then people will finally realize how bad the Democrat Party is. It's like, yeah, we got to crash the ship to realize in what trouble we would be if someone would crash the ship. Stop thinking like that. So yeah. On one hand, it's like, okay, so this is a really clear contrast. I saw a thing and it was, remember January 6th, I think the Hodge twins posted it, and it was regular gas, $1.99 a gallon. So yeah, so it is a very quick swing. Sorry, it's a quick swing from one side to another. So hopefully people will see it, but.
Yeah. And I think people do see it, because I know that there was a recall election in California. Once again, I don't have all the details like I should, but it was in a majority Democrat area, and the person was recalled even though there was only like 7% Republicans or whatever in the area. So I think moderate, like people who are Democrats who are like, let's be good to the planet and stuff, and maybe don't want to have BLM riots, and they're still moderate Democrats. Mm-hmm. And I think those people are starting to be like, holy shit, what's going on? So maybe there's hope. I don't know.
Though I know this is a minor point, but I was kind of disappointed this past week. We had our primaries, and we didn't primary John Thune and Dusty Johnson out, and I was kind of disappointed in that. Okay, I was like really disappointed. I did my bit, but still.
That's all you can do. And the thing I was referring to was the district attorney in San Francisco, which, I do vaguely remember that now. But if I listen to news and I don't make notes, like for today, I had a whole thing of notes, because otherwise it's in one ear and out the other. I don't remember. But yeah, so I think we've gone pretty long, but on a happy note, today is Worldwide Knit in Public Day. Yay. So if you guys are hanging around somewhere, you got some place to go, take your knitting, knit, be fancy, right? Read a good book, listen to an audio book.
Said show it off, make some friends.
Right. Get a copy of Odyssey Tale from Cody Schlegel. Listen to it while you're knitting. That's what I like to do. I like to knit and listen.
Again, our giveaway. Gonna shut off. Odyssey Tale. Leave a comment. Get some yarn.
Yes, leave a comment. We're gonna pick on Thursday, so make sure that you comment by this coming Thursday. And also don't forget to check out our cool sponsor, Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. And if you like that colorway Anne was just holding up, that is the Politically Incorrect Knitters colorway. And so you can get your own if you want it. Use the code PIK Flag Day 20 for 20% off your order. So I think that's all, girls. Nope. I know there's at least one guy out there. Oh, two, because your dad's there and so's Neil. So
there we go.
People, everybody, thanks for joining us today. And we will see you for our regularly scheduled Saturday morning next week.
There we go. See you then.
All right. Bye, guys.